27, playing. Okay, so I feel like sometimes we put too much emphasis on the plane. That is doubly true for Sanhok.
It is, yeah, because everything's obtainable pretty much with every plane. I don't think we've seen a plane on Sanhok yet where we've got that team cannot drop to their spot. Yeah. So again, that's one of the good things, I guess. One of the things actually, just to note, Lazarus, game on game, just seems to spread wider and wider on this north side, and actually forcing SSG a bit further over east towards Rumblers. But Lazarus just, I mean, that's a huge split.
That is quite wide.
They have an entire...
That's not a split. They are two separate duos at this point.
Exactly.
That doesn't count. There's an entire, like, look at that north side. That is pretty Curdy and Civil hard, like, count as a split amongst themselves, and that's only half the squad. But it's good control of that bridge if it goes back towards the northeast once again. And speaking of northeast, or northwest, sorry, Sonics, they're not playing the fork in the river. They're literally just playing that whole island because if it goes that direction, they need to be there immediately, but it's not. So what are they going to do about it? They can actually control rotations from Wildcard and E-United themselves. But hey, new circle, pretty center.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, the center of this circle, as we can see just east of Boot Camp, where Genesis have dropped, that whole area is pretty much unplayable. There's no real playable spots inside that kind of that swamp. So if we see this kind of centralized to the north, it's going to be really interesting because we're going to pretty much have every single team occupying the edge because there's only one hill that kind of sweeps around that side. So going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Tempo and P1E, obviously, with their standard drop. I kind of want to see Genesis step up on Sanhok. They've, again, had a rough start. Obviously, Moses touched on that mishap with the nade, which wasn't necessarily, a misplaced nade, but just unfortunate the way it bounced. But
what? That's the definition of a misplaced nade.
It was. I mean, it's unfortunate. We're not going to talk about nade mechanics in PUBG, but
fair enough.
It was unfortunate for it to bounce off the.
No. That's fair enough. Point taken. McCoy here down for Ghost, another squad that has started to step it up from last week. The first game was a mixed bag of results, but last game was a really good, a decent run considering that they didn't make it into a top position. They got a fair number of kills, and it was a scrappy fight.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
And again, to go out where they did with the kill buffer they had, again, they didn't have a spot in the zone. So the fact that, they had this long drawn out fight with Rumblers outside of the circle, held Rumblers on hard edge, but they still weren't in the circle at that point. They had SSG rotating behind them, and they pretty much pushed 2v4 into E-United. Ended up getting a really clean team fight, actually, into that bowl that we saw. Yeah,
they got, what, 10 points and going out in, like, 9th position or something?
I think, yeah, 10 points in 7th, maybe. It feels like one of us should have made a note of that, but neither of us did. They got 10 kills.
They got 10 kills. That's the important part. 10 kills outside of the top 5. That's a really good run. But now they actually have an opportunity to get a better position in Sanhok. They won the very first Sanhok game off of a circle that is not unlike what we're seeing now. Can they deliver once again? More teams are getting familiar with this map, so we'll have to see. Over back here on Lazarus, though, Uncivil and Pretty Curdy grouped up again. We're still waiting on Luke and Alo to come into the circle, and the Blues are already shrinking in. Loot should be fine for most everyone at this point. We're already seeing a couple of rotations on the map, but Profi, yeah, he's actually already out of boot camp. Forward scout. Just trying to make sure that no one here is camping this sort of crossroad, peeking down into this compound. Not going to spot anyone, though. It should be an easy cross towards center for Genesis.
But this compound just south of Profi here is absolute gold for this circle. Because, I mean, you control so much of the road. Obviously, you've got the bridge further over to the west. There is a compound in between, the bridge and the compound. But, I mean, this compound that Profi's looking at now, if Genesis can occupy this early and maybe get a 2-2 split to the north, it does look like H-Win's going to be coming down in a vehicle maybe to take that. So I'm liking this early move from Genesis already because this compound will control so much in this circle.
You can see on the minimap.
He's just is he trying to bait shots?
I think he is. That's my guess right now. Pulling back to Profi to pick him up and then go send it. But
Tempo are looking like they're looking for it.
Tempo Storm looks like they want to take this as well. So maybe Genesis missed their window. They might have actually spotted Tempo Storm as well, and because we're still waiting on K-Mind and Nerf to fully leave boot camp, they may not want to take this fight. But yeah, that's Tempo Storm actually steal that position.
And they've come on foot out of Painan. So they've been a lot more decisive with the rotation, and we're going to see Nerf and K-Mind coming down south. But I mean, they've already missed the boat because you can see Profi driving towards it now.
Profi sending it.
Please don't go any closer. They must know that they got it. I don't think he does. No.
Nope, they don't. Actually, looking at the lines of sight, they're not that strong if they didn't spot them push down the hill. Luckily, Profi takes only half damage, able to back away. What could have been another disastrous start for Genesis, they're able to not fall into.
I mean, that's something we haven't seen with this team. Usually they're so quick to rotate. You know, they're decisive in the early game. We time and time again say how, you know, they rotate at 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
They're early. They get the compound they want, or at least they scout the compound they want. They have the information on the center circle. But they're the 30, 40 seconds where Profi's out early, he's scouting the compound. He just needs a teammate to crash it.
Yeah, and I don't know if that indecisiveness comes from it being Sanhok, it being a new map, or does it come from the fact that they're not as dominant as we came to expect from Phase 1, from Phase 2, from Week 1 of Phase 3? We'll see what they play. They're forced into a split of their own. It's not, I mean, it's not the worst position to be in, to be fair, but you're right.
This was the backup I called. If they couldn't get that, they've got a 2-2 to the north. Again, they control a lot of the area on this hill to the east, so they're not necessarily in a bad position now. It's just a shame to see them not be decisive. Let's see Uncivil, yeah. We saw Lazarus obviously looking for this bridge camp. They know United drop over to the west side of the bridge. United actually opting to swim over to boot camp, so they're going to be able to get across it. Actually, wow. Okay.
That's a good tag to keep Uncivil at bay. Not a lot. Oh, well, not a tags back in return. That's actually from the south. That's going to be from the Sonics on the Shuru. And so it looked like potentially a save for United. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Civil is probably healing right now. Doesn't know if he spotted Shuru being forced away from the rest of his team.
He doesn't know where to met.
Yeah, where can you met? He's back in the water.
Oh no, they're taking pop shots now.
No, this is not good. But the rest of United made their way into boot camp, so that's fine. Hopefully Shuru can get out of this. It's a rough situation. They made the risky swim across, and so, you know, having 3 make their way into landfall safely, I think is still in the end a victory.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Shiru's going to stay alive, so the rest of United making it into boot camp is pretty big, considering, you know, they had to cross the river. That's usually a point where we see teams fall apart, so they've done the hard work now. They just need to kind of regroup.
What do Wildcard do? They're still in the blue on the northwest island.
I don't know what Kickstart's doing right now.
It's going to shift towards the south. I mean, they could come in from the southwest island.
I mean, this is good, though. Leaving it this late, they're banking on Lazarus not committing to holding the bridge.
Yes.
So they're looking for that free rotation. Again, I'm not sure if Kickstar got a vehicle at the start, why he's so split off. I know he does drop quite fast to the northwest, but they're kind of banking now on Lazarus just kind of abandoning the bridge camp and them having a free rotation in. And
you can see they're not taking too much damage in the meantime from the blue. They looted so long, I'm assuming that they have a fair number of meds as well. So it's not the worst position. They just need to make sure that they're able to time out their own rotations. Looking back here onto Ghost, though, they're just lying quiet in the Western Quarry. The shift went down in their direction. They're relatively center, but they're not trying to maintain control. They want to set a trap for anyone coming to their position, but Padcaps using a trap of his own. Being surrounded by Endemic, takes the first shot, gets the first down, and the rest of Envy are rushing onto their position. He doesn't get a second, and he actually gets flushed as well, so it ends up being a 1-to-1 trade. Envy were there just barely not in time, but they're going to continue this fight.
I'm not sure about that as well, because they're not in a position to trade this. Envy now are going to look to aggress onto Endemic. Wolf now pulling back. Moody and Interrogate, you see they've got the nades pulled already. They're looking to get some nade knocks and push in on this.
Not finding anything just yet. A trade nade by Wolf is going to go a little too far to the left.
Cook him.
That one might be fine. I feel like they don't know exactly where Envy are, and so he's doing this just to zone them out. But they do have the high ground. Envy are the ones in the worst position right now that Padcaps has taken out.
Crispy are actually getting picked off from Lazarus from the third fight.
That's not good.
It's full retreat for Endemic. I don't know if they can get the flash onto Crispier, but that completely shuts that team fight down for them.
And Lazarus are going to continue to push forward off of that knock as well. Over here, Genesis, United pushing in onto them. Balefrost finds one, doesn't get a knock though, but look at Taylor J's position on the minimap. He's out towards the east, trying to set up a crossfire, but looks like he got into an engagement with another squad. I mean, this is Sanhok. Even almost 10 minutes into the game, there's no way you can fight just one squad, but Lazarus there pushing up the hill. Pretty Curdy, the nade god himself, has the nade pulled, trying to finish off Crispier. The revive was not able to happen, and Taro goes down to Zenith.
He might catch Moody on this rock here.
This is not good for Envy, but Lazarus...
Envy are going to be focusing now on Zenith. If you see Pride, obviously, he's playing next to that tree in the rock, and Moody doing the same thing at the top of the hill. This is a big problem for Envy here. Hetero actually getting the steal onto Crispier there, so Lazarus now knowing they're down is not big.
He's spotted out, gets the first couple of shots, but isn't able to finish it. That's going to be Pride finished off. It is just Moody remaining. I was worried for a second that Envy hiding behind these rocks, Lazarus might not be none the wiser, so focused in on Endemic. But the revive comes out.
Kurt looks like he's going to nade up to that smoke.
Good nade. Gonna finish Taro. Drop Moody down to 12 HP. Moody, I don't know if there's anything he can make from this. Molly's going to come out as well. He definitely has the information. It's going to hit Bottle straight to the face, and Moody's going to go out and be out in 16th place.
I hate to say it again twice in 2 games, but name a more iconic duo than Kurt and throwing things, honestly.
I mean, in a way, some people attribute the nade meta to this individual on your screen right now.
Yeah,
in a small way.
The shoot-to-kill meta of not carrying meds or ammo and just carrying nades. I mean, paying off for them. Obviously, they've become pretty good with Molotovs as well. But we see SSG pushing up. We did see them get the steal onto Crispier, so I think SSG are going to try and avoid this fight altogether. If they know this compound is occupied, they should try and sweep to the east, because they should have the information that Rumblers aren't close. So depending on this shift, and we are going to see that pretty much go, well, hard north, effectively. Yeah. Great shift for Lazarus, great circle for Genesis, and Tempo as well.
Yeah, it's 2 hard shifts in opposite directions. Some say they come out neutral, but a lot of teams really don't like it, especially ones that made the wide rotations. Tempo Storm, though, they are loving this, as well as Space Station Gaming, because they have a little bit of a priority onto Lazarus. Alo here is peeking around, trying to watch the swamp area that you pointed out earlier on this round. But no one's become available to them just yet. They actually have a lot of space around them. They don't need to rush it too much right now.
I think this comes back to Lazarus knew Endemic were here somewhere, and obviously they knew that Crispy got stolen away. So I think they're just now looking for, you know, the 2 remembered maimers of Endemic, crouched on a tree, you know, proned on a rock or something like that. So that's why they're being cautious over to this northwest corner. But I mean, Lazarus now, they've got all the time in the world to kind of clear their edge.
Yeah, I mean, you can already see them trade some shots with SSG. But over here, United, they've taken the top of the hill. They've wrapped around from Genesis. The split from Genesis, it's still in the circle. It's actually working well right now if they can group up before too long. But not too much damage onto United. Still 0 kills, but coming in from that island, it's a good position. They found themselves in a really strong position.
Yeah, I mean, the Wildcard have actually kind of rotated in south of them to this compound that's next to the bridge. So that can cause some big problems. The hill that United are on, though, it's super high up. The sight lines up the hill because of the tree cover isn't great. So I think they're safe for this circle, but they don't really have a play into any compound.
Still see J-Sang trying to go for this SR headshot.
Yeah, J-Sang with a bolt.
Go, hey, go for it. If you're feeling yourself, go do it. I love bolts, I'm sorry. You can argue all day whether they're competitively viable or not. I don't care. Give me bolts all day. Everyone have bolts.
Who's that an impression of?
Moses.
Okay.
Or I don't know, it's not just him. A lot of people, yes, people prefer DMRs over bolts, but they're just so fun to watch. And we've seen SSG especially do a lot of work out of them, especially like Bahawaka.
I mean, that's why it's surprising. Usually it would always be Baja running the bolt in that situation. So
they could have 2.
And they could do the double bolt setup.
Yeah, I mean, at that point it gets a little ambitious, but Taylor J, with the QBU trying to send some shots down onto Genesis. No real connections between these 2 squads. Is that K-Mine with a QBU and a bolt?
They lose boot camp, so I'd be surprised. Did we see that right? I'm not entirely sure. Good tag from Sharu though, actually. Yeah, K-Mine's actually re-peeking up here. I think he might have just swapped out for a scope on that.
Yeah, he might have just picked it up just for this instance, but wow, look at this. Actually, crate dropped on United. I think that's just barely down the slope of the hill.
I'm not sure if they can get that because the Genesis is split.
I think Genesis have eyes on it, so it's going to be rough for them, but they're fine just trading shots back and forth while the blue closes. Rumblers did a sweep up towards the northeast around SSG, and then Vanquish pushed in from the south, but everyone else just sitting pretty, and it is going to pull away from TS and SSG as well. It's going to go on to player 1 once again. Compound in the center of the circle. Can they get a better game out of it this time around?
But again, this is where we see that come back to, you know, really be Genesis's downfall, that indecisiveness early game now. Tempo in the circle, Genesis now with a 2-2 split outside of the circle. They have to make ways in.
Yeah, here's the time that teams didn't want to fight so soon, but they have to right now. We have finally run out of space. More than half the teams are on the outside, and it's a fight between Zenith and SSG. Trades going back and forth. The J-Sank, 2 shots, 1 kill. Easy does it, all that he needs. Baja and Valiator down though. A revive is about to come out into Baja. The smoke comes out from Hetror. But Valiate, he's a bit far away.
Valiate is split off on his own. Looks like he's going to get flushed out. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but Patron getting the knock there and the flush. J-Sang looking for another knock with his bolt as well. So going to be interesting to see if SSG can reset, get this res off. because I don't think they have a lot of space.
But look at the minimap. Lazarus are pushing in from the north as well. SSG are able to split their attention away from that, but on the other side, United Stab takes down Adam. It's going to get an easy finish for them as well, but they still got to push through. Wildcard, they actually...
I mean, Wildcard just sent it through the middle.
They just sent it through Genesis.
They literally got in a vehicle and sent it through the middle of Genesis and Tempo Storm.
I mean, most of their players made it in, so it's definitely got to work out. They have Kickstart still on the side to try and be a thorn in everyone else's side, while the rest are holding down center. I say the rest, it's half the squad holding down center. But coming in from the west side, coming in so late into the circle, it was actually quite a successful play, if I'm being honest. But United, where did they go? I think Shuru, he didn't go for the crate. I saw a little bit of attention paid towards that direction. Maybe Taylor J grabbed it, but they're rushing down towards the south.
This is going to be such a rough wrap for them, though, because Sonic's occupying the hill to the south and Tempo Storm occupying the compound. United have no way in. They have to force the issue with Tempo Storm in the compound.
They're not comfortable pushing through the compounds, and that begs the question, do they wait too late to wrap down towards the south? They're in the blue. They're on soft ground. Stab gets taken out by Zampa. Sharp shot, still holding this angle as well. So United, they may have to curve straight in because of the damage from the blue. But over here, Ghost, they have been quiet all game, and Vanquish are going to rush directly into them. They are none the wiser. Who's going to shoot first? Who's going to see whom first? Shrimzy's there. It's a crossfire set up. They only get one, but the trade comes in from McCoy. 2 kills, easy does it. Tetra, what can you do in return? McCoy isn't going to go for the revive just yet. Oh, shots. What direction is that coming from? That's from player 1. Reno's also rushing in as well, grouping up with Tetra now that they know that there is opposition in this warehouse. Circle's going to swing down south, which does give a little bit of extra timing back towards Vanquish. Do they want to take this fight? The revive comes out for Shrimzy. He's going to get picked up by Ghost. But now they have to worry about Low-Key, because look on that map. Low-Key's taking a lot of damage from, I believe that's the Rumblers up towards the north. But they got to push through this exact same Quarry warehouse. But Balefrost, only one remaining from United, able to make it up towards Sonic's hill. But Tony V, he's definitely watching for it. Or is he? He's looking the wrong direction. Balefrost gets one. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get anything in immediate. Oh, well, he dies to blue. So at least he denies that point. But nonetheless, they're going to go out super early into a game. That's not what we expected. Ghost pushing in towards Low-Key. A lot of nade damage, a lot of kills happening. 3 so far for Ghost. That's 2 more on the floor. Low-Key's eliminated in 14th place. Whoa! And Genesis go out in the meantime to Lazarus on the opposite side of things.
What were we talking about earlier? Kurt and nades.
Yep.
We just saw a full kill feed there.
Yep. Hetro's going to bleed out. Now it's back on SSG. Baja Waka only 2 kills, and he's going to get discovered as well by
Great
Roth.
shots from Roth there. And again, this was a long, drawn-out fight here on the edge between Zenith and SSG, and we saw initially Valier getting knocked and bleeding out. Right now, we're actually going to see Lazarus.
They still got to fight. Actually, Sonics versus Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm pushed south up this hill to try and gain control. It's going to be a 2v something. I don't know how many is remaining for Tempo Storm, but in the kill feed, Lazarus are still lighting it up. Wooly and Keenan, what can they do? They're fighting against Riot Squad as well as Tempo Storm. Sharp shot and Zampa holding the low ground. Strike gets 1. Sonics are eliminated in 10th. But Tempo Storm, they've lost a lot during that fight. Wildcard Kickstart deals a lot of damage and actually ends endemic. So in the span of, I think, 30 seconds, we saw, what, 6 teams go out? That's the nature of Sanhok.
You love to see it.
Oh, click that head. Come on, Uncivil, you can find this. There we go. Second time's a charm, but he's out in the blue right now. 2x on the AK, trying to find something. Kickstarts. Nade goes a little wide, but Uncivil, he's taking a lot of damage. There's no point, just died to the blue, and there he goes. But a good number of kills for them nonetheless in 8th place. But this circle shift, player 1, still in a compound, still center. I don't think they have that many kills though. But looking at Ghost, they've been holding down the southeast corner, picking up a good number of kills. But now Tetra and Reno, they certainly know that they are there, and they're trying to keep them snugged in the corner.
I mean, Zampa now in a position, they managed to clean this fight up with Sonics, obviously with the third-party support coming in, but Tempo picking up 4 kills from the compound they occupied early. They're going to pick up the 1 point from placement maybe, so not a terrible round for them. Riot Squad just been biding their time in this compound up here. I'm not sure if they've even got a kill throughout the Sonics and Tempo fight, but
they may have picked up 1 or 2, but here's another free one for them.
Keeping 4 up though, that's the important thing, keeping 4 up. Whether or not they have an edge to play at the top of this hill, with P1E's position, it kind of stops Vanquish, Ghost, and everyone else getting in, so we'll have to see how that works out. Zampa right now just looking for anything on the compound.
He's playing around the rock while he can, but the blue has started to close in, and he is running out of time. Hasn't found a single knock yet, and he needs to find 4 in order to make it into the circle, because there's no way that Riot Squad, anyone remaining, is going to let him get inside.
No.
in the blue, taking a lot of damage. There's really nowhere for him to go. He's gonna rush into the next tree, gonna rush into the next rock. But this might be a futile effort.
Yeah.
He's gonna go down to Riot Squad. Tetra goes down, Kickstart drops. Riot Squad 4 up, only 3 kills, but they're pushing into the center of the circle, or closer towards. Vegas finds one more onto Tetra. It's just Reno left, prone next to a rock. Ghost are aware that there's one more remaining. Wildcard's eliminated in 6. But Reno, he's gotta find not just 1, he's gotta find 3 onto Ghost if he wants to make this work. He's not discovered just yet. He's waiting for him to peek onto his position.
The problem being, if you look at the minimap, Riot Squad are already out of their compound. Later and VZ pushing all the way to the south side. They might catch Reno in the back here. Reno actually, wow, he's actually in a really good bush. But Ghost obviously forced into the edge of this warehouse. Rumblers obviously off to the side. Wow, that's actually a pretty good shift for everyone on the south side. Ghost actually pushing out.
Ghosts are rushing out. They're taking a lot of damage because of it. It's a crossfire for the Rumblers that dropped 2. Reno steals that kill onto Vegas. That may give his position away to Ghost, but who is standing to take that information and actually get one more point off of it? It's just Drassel for Ghost, but the push by Riot Squad comes in. Reno finds one more. VZ, can he get the trade? And he does. Should be able to, oh, I don't know if he can get the revive onto later. The shot's coming in from Rumblers. They're trying to take advantage from this. You can see Low HD off on the side flank. Drassel, in the meantime, is medding in the blue. There's not a lot for him to do. Shots coming up back and forth. It's basically just 2 full squads remaining. Riot Squad, Rumblers, and Player 1. Lampalot knocks Microfry. We're going to see Drassel die in just a matter of moments, but Lampalot trying to get more pressure onto the Rumblers on the roof. A nice high ground position, and they still have half of the compound in the circle. Drassel rushes out. Can he find Los? No, Leda has the angle, and that's going to be Ghost out in 4th.
That's lucky for Rumblers, though. If Drassel managed to pick onto Los there, that could have been huge. Cherry with a great spray onto VZ from distance. 2 of Rumblers down now. Cherry last one up. He needs to try and find himself a kill point. I don't think he's going to be able to find his way into this circle.
It's going to be rough. He's going to have to crawl basically in front of the circle, but he's waiting way too long. He knows that Player 1 has the angle onto him, and so he might just be dying to the blue. I say that. He changes his mind, and he's going to get pushed to the next tree. Wants to at least make it hard for Player 1, but it's going to be Leda that finds him. 2 teams remaining, both with 4 up. Oh, I lied. VZ actually gets dropped by D-Treats, and Player 1 immediately rush out of the compound. They don't stay inside the safety. Aguila's up front, up on the rock.
Yeah, as soon as Rumblers have died, you can see P1E looking for space out in the circle here. I mean, I don't know what Riot Squad can do. All they have is skinny trees on this side of the circle. P1E still have the wall, but Aguila's pushed all the way out. Late's actually getting a great knock onto D-Trees there. And a knock onto Aguila. Mystery, get another one.
Mystery gets traded in the end, though. It's only Protege and Later remaining. What can David do? It left in a 1v2 behind the smoke, and they're spraying through. There's 1 HP for David. Trying to find an angle. He doesn't have time to med, and it's going to be Riot Squad with 11 kills. They started the end game with 3, and they flooded through everyone else.
I mean, that's something we've seen Riot Squad excel at, but not in